I think we've come quite a long way since our initial issues and options consultation. We had an overwhelming response, which was absolutely fantastic, but it has given our officers rather a lot of work to do, which they've coped with very well, I think.
Has been very useful, though, from the point of view of developing the next step. Absolutely. To have as many responses to that as we did was valuable.
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's very clear from the responses that there's a great deal of support for defending the green belt and not developing on that. So one of the things that I think it's very important that we hold in mind and we discuss is the lengths to which we've gone to conserve and preserve our green belt in line with the wishes of that consultation response.
I must admit, I think that it's quite a difficult scenario to get over, that we're looking at potentially developing part of the green belt to actually protect the rest of it.
I think that's right, and one of the key points that we need to bear in mind is that we're required by government to have a new local plan in place by early 2017, and it's a local plan that provides that protection because it says where developers may build and where development is prohibited. So our overriding concern is to make sure that we produce a plan which can be used to inform planning application decisions through 2017. The absence of an up-to-date plan is a real risk for both districts.
The other piece about the process, of course, is that it has to be very strongly evidence-based. So we spend a lot of effort and a lot of time preparing a lot of very detailed technical documents that nevertheless support the whole of the development of the plan. And that will stand us in good stead as we go forward.
For sure.
So as an example, step 1 of the Greenbelt assessment looked at all of the Greenbelt across the whole of the 2 districts and assessed them against criteria to see the degree to which they met the 5 principles of Greenbelt and why it's there in the first place.
And in fact, that assessment was used, the criteria were used by the whole of Buckinghamshire, which is particularly pertinent because we are looking to, under the duty to cooperate, to ask Aylesbury to take some of our unmet need, and so we therefore have to prove, using exactly the same criteria, that the green belt that we are not able to release is absolutely performing its functions and should remain so for the future.
I think that's a very good point because the good people of Aylesbury aren't going to be willing just to build extra housing for us if they don't feel we've robustly challenged ourselves. So I think it's absolutely critical, as Nick says, that we've worked to the same methodology as the other authorities in Buckinghamshire. We've worked as a team on that, and that we can stoutly defend the work that we've done and the situation we're at this stage.
That's right. I mean, when we consider what's going on, it's clear that we're considering 15 sites for potential development out of 420 sites in the Greenbelt that were assessed and tested. And it's only those that are performing most weakly which are coming forward into this preferred options process. It's a requirement that Aylesbury have, that they need to ensure, we have to demonstrate that we've rigorously tested all of our parcels of land across the 2 districts before they're prepared to consider accepting any of our unmet need. And the way things are going, it's not certain yet, but the conversations that are taking place between us and Aylesbury Vale under the duty to cooperate look as though Aylesbury Vale will be taking 5,800 of our unmet housing need, which is a significant contribution to protect our green belt in Chiltern and South Bucks.
And I think this consultation that we're embarking upon now on these 15 areas, it should be absolutely clear. First of all, we don't actually statutorily have to do this consultation anyway, but we've chosen to do it because we really value the input that we got, well, certainly from the previous consultation, and we're hoping to get far more valuable input on these particular options now. But this is certainly by no means a done deal. And not only are we looking at the input from the consultation, we're also looking at our officers doing more work on sort of drilling down on these areas to actually see whether these are viable.
Absolutely, I think that's critical. One of the words that we hear constantly from residents expressing concern is infrastructure. So whilst not everybody wants extra housing development, if that has to come, people view it as absolutely critical that they get the right infrastructure to support those developments, and that hasn't always been the case in the past. So part of the robust assessment that we will be doing is to look at the infrastructure delivery for those sites. I think that's absolutely crucial.
I think the other thing that's worth remembering is that as we go into this consultation, no decisions have yet been made. We're looking for people to respond to the suggestions that we're bringing forward. We want to hear from people, and we'd like to get their views.
I think one of the key things to do to get the most in this consultation is to take a look at the plans and maps that are on display in the exhibitions and drop-ins. Talk to the officers to understand the criteria about how those parcels of land have been identified, and understand the considerations that apply when assessing the quality of greenbelt land and its suitability for development. If you disagree, then please respond through the consultation. There are ways of doing that, and you can get that information on the website and from officers here at the consultation today.
A thorough review of the Greenbelt is having to be undertaken. It will be the first time in some 50 years that the Greenbelt has been considered in this way. Only those areas which perform weakly have been included as preferred options. Using any greenbelt sites be a last resort. They're only being considered as there is insufficient brownfield sites to meet our needs to 2036. such as for new homes or job opportunities. Even if all the preferred options were to be used, they would represent just a 1.4% reduction in greenbelt land across Chiltern and South Bucks.